This is all wrong.
What's wrong? What's wrong about this podcast?
Just no. Just like seeing you in daylight as we record.
Oh, with a good glow on me.
Yeah.
From the outside.
You're getting a solid amount of fill light right now.
That's a good point.
That's the sun, and it's throwing me off.
There isn't a single light on in my apartment right now at all. We are recording very early for us.
It's going to be so weird when we get to the end of the episode and we're not just exhausted because it's 12:30
I know,
at night.
yeah. And it's like, oh God, I got to get up for work in the morning. I mean, I have to get up for work in the morning, but
same, yeah.
I'll have a little bit of a night after this. Unless this podcast episode takes like 5 hours.
There's actually a solid chance it might because there's a lot to talk about. Yeah. I mean, because we have the teaser for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yep.
We got to brush up on Aladdin because we've hit our fucking 19th trailer for it. We have our 35th trailer for Toy Story 4. We have I believe this is just the 75th Avengers Endgame trailer.
Yeah, low bar.
We also have Booksmart. We have Good Boys. We have Lucy in the Sky. And we have a runaway trailer at the end of all this.
Yeah, that's a segment we haven't done in a long time, folks.
Yeah.
But if you want to know what it is, tune in until after this theme song that's about to play. It's not long, I promise.
You can't haul your stuff without a trailer hitch. Trailer hitch.
Turn the lights, grab a seat, pour yourselves some whiskey neat. It's time to judge the shit out of these future releases by the movie trailers. We're trailer hits. This movie might totally suck, but the whiskey sure is going down fine. Yeah, we're trailer hits.
You know, with it being so early in the day, are you slightly concerned that, like, your humor is going to be off? Because that's how I'm feeling right now. I'm very self-conscious.
I feel serious as shit.
Yeah, everything
and boring, and everything I'm going to say is dull.
Yeah, everything I said in that opening, we hit pause to play the intro song, and I'm like, I think that was all terrible.
In retrospect, I wasn't funny.
Yeah. But that's okay. It's you know, it's a different us, a different side of Kevin James.
We're still in professional mode right now.
Right, yeah.
You can't get yucks all the time.
Kevin James can't be funny all the time.
That
works on a few layers.
By most of his filmography, yes.
And our podcastography. Welcome to Trailer Hitch, everyone.
Welcome.
And I am James.
I'm Kevin.
And we are hosts of this podcast that you are listening to about movie trailers.
Yes.
And we talk about movie trailers, we review them, and we rate them, and we make fun of them sometimes if it's warranted. And I suck at doing this. Every time I try and like steal this bit from you,
there's a reason why my eyes glaze over.
I know.
I just have to lock in and stay focused.
And now I'll let you finish
Don't worry.
cover.
The popcorn is over to me.
Okay, cool.
We rate trailers on a scale of need to see more, or never need to see.
That's it.
James and I both like a movie. We celebrate, we see the movie, report back to you guys in a segment called Trailer in the Rear View, in which we review the trailer in retrospect and the film as well.
That's right. Those are all things.
Yes.
That I didn't say when I was doing it. So well done.
We are going to go into the teaser trailer showroom, in which we take a look at a teaser trailer, which, in theory, all of those are kind of need to see more.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's just meant to tease you. So, we're going into the showroom. We're going to take a look at the little sticker in the trailer window.
We just have one today.
Yeah.
It's going to be in and out, really. Yeah.
See if it's got satellite radio, even though no one needs that anymore because MP3 players. So, we are going to be taking a look at Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
That's right.
That was the best acting I've ever seen in my whole life.
Like you. Rick fucking no.
Let's settle in for story time. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is the 9th film from Quentin Tarantino.
How did you know that? How would anyone know that?
It says it right in the trailer.
Right in the trailer,
Big ass title card.
Yeah.
Definitely looks like we're getting a wide variety of shooting methods. Like we got some black and white for the interview segments.
Yep.
We see Tarantino evoking a lot of 60s and 70s cinema with his whip pan zoom-ins.
Yep. There's some Western stuff in there of Leo DiCaprio shooting a Western.
Yes.
Like how old Westerns were shot. Does this ooze Tarantino to you?
Yeah.
In terms of a teaser?
Yeah.
I have a yes and no answer. I think yes in terms of like the editing style and the humor, for sure. The thing that it's lacking...
Violence?
Yes!
Oh, okay.
There is just no hint at violence in this at all.
Yeah, there's a part of me that wonders if this is going to be like Paul Thomas Anderson's The Master, where like everyone assumed that was going to be a movie about Scientology, and then it turned out to just be a character study that had some similarities to Scientology.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, this is the worst Scientology movie ever.
And you go, well, technically that's true. It is.
And if that's what he was going for, then yes, this movie would be a failure. But yeah, there is now a part of me that steps back and wonders how closely the Sharon Tate angle is going to be tied to the movie.
Yeah.
Or if that was just a way to contextualize it, and then people blew it the fuck out
of proportion, for sure. And honestly, too, is this something that is going to be more linear or more like Inglourious Bastards or Pulp Fiction, where it feels like small vignettes that are loosely connected?
Sure.
It still remains to be seen what kind of movie that this is. But yeah, like you said, this is the Brad Pitt and Leo DiCaprio show for sure at this point. Which is good though. Like that Bruce Lee scene was hilarious.
Bruce Lee scene is really funny. I did like the interplay with the interviewer, whoever's interviewing them at the beginning.
Right.
It's so funny to see how deeply touched Leonardo DiCaprio is when this little girl who we have no context for says, oh, that was some of the best acting I've ever seen. And it just fucking gets to
him.
I love the editing. I love the song choice in this too.
What was the song choice again? Remind me?
No. Like Tarantino is so adept at just finding these 60s tunes that are just in the bottom of two barrels.
Yeah.
And he pulls them up and you go, fuck, no, you're right. This is a really cool and energetic song.
Yeah.
It definitely seems like they took great pains to keep that 70s time period intact.
Exactly.
And it looks really great.
Well done, Quentin Tarantino. Looks good.
Well, let's get the hell on out of this here place.
So long, farewell.
We are going to move on to our tune-up section. So these are all for trailers that we've already talked about on the show. Most of the time, we've already given them reviews. And this is just kind of us brushing up on stuff.
Yep.
So the first tune-up we're going to be doing is for Aladdin.
Oh, great one who summons me, I stand by my oath, loyalty to wishes 3.
I'm kidding. Watch this.
Watch out!
Alright, well, let's get into whether or not this is a whole new world from the first couple of teasers that we weren't really that crazy about.
Not vibing on, right?
Judging by the dislike button on YouTube, a lot of people weren't feeling. How do you feel about this one? Do you feel like this is an improvement? Do you feel much the same?
The marketing campaign for this live-action Aladdin film very much has me on, like, a roller coaster of ups and downs, and I'm in a very...
Well, considering that we've all been at the down period, I feel like this means that this is up.
This skyrocketed me from the depths of just not really being that into it based on... I mean, let's be honest, it was mostly the effects of the genie in the last spot mixed with Jafar's characterization or his voice just kind of also wasn't really clicking for me. This one, though, I think just like doubled down on... It's like, okay, now's the time to show people that we got this under control because we fucked up the last couple of times. So... we need to show them, like, literally every aspect of the goods. Mm-hmm. And I thought it hit all the things I wanted it to hit. Jafar's voice is still a little strange to me, but that's the actor's voice. What am I supposed to do? I don't expect them to redub him like Darth Vader or something.
You could Dark Knight Christian Bale him.
Sure,
you could just throw too many filters on him, not like Christopher Nolan.
But I just really enjoyed this one, like a lot. Like from the music to the visuals to finally the sense of story that we're given. the dancing, I don't know. I thought it was magical, and I really, really loved it.
I did definitely appreciate the dancing in this one. Because, yeah, those early trailers did have that pretty familiar, when you're going for like a darker, snappier remake of something.
Yeah.
It's fucking throwing a bunch of shadows and deep blues on the screen.
Exactly,
baby.
yeah.
And I was happy to see some color.
Oh, it's very vibrant.
Lush, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
I would say that the "make me a prince" joke landed for me. I thought that was actually really charming.
It was probably the strongest joke in the trailer, for sure. The other humor was okay, but I didn't laugh out loud during any of it.
Yeah, it was golf clap humor. It
Yeah,
was like,
sure.
I understand this is a joke. I think it's constructed well.
Golf clap.
Yeah, golf clap.
Golf clap.
Exactly.
I like it. Okay.
I'm still not necessarily seeing the genie as human thing, at least so early within the story. And I brought that up in an earlier review. I'm still not necessarily sold on that angle of it. It's a weird note of realism in a story with a genie. I would say overall, this is definitely an improvement over what I've been seeing.
Definitely an improvement, Kevin.
I'm not...
Talk about a tune-up.
I'm not angry about Jafar's voice.
I'm not angry either. It just throws me off because he's got such a light voice. It's just not menacing at all, and I don't know if he just can flip a switch.
I did think that the costume was a little too over the top too.
Jafar's,
sure. Yeah.
I mean, his hat looked like it didn't sit right.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think the frame of the actor is also kind of small. I don't know. He's just
that's a really good point too. With the only time we see him, he's just kind of sitting.
Just not an imposing villain.
I will also say, from a trailer perspective, it builds pretty well. I mean, we get him seeing Jasmine right away at the beginning. All of a sudden, it's like, all right, I got some motivation. I better find me a genie. We then get him finding the genie. The genie looks big and imposing, and to your credit, more imposing than Jafar. Then a switch flips, and he is light and vibrant and really happy, and we get this really nice dance number. We get some jokes. We get him sort of pushing him over to Jasmine to go talk to her.
Again, golf clap.
Golf clap
on that one.
That's a golf clap.
That's
joke.
golf clap.
However, then all of a sudden the trailer really does kind of skirt, and then it becomes kind of this really melodramatic love story for a second. And then the audio comes in with these big fuck you drums into a whole new world. We didn't need big fuck you drums there. You can just lead into a whole new world here, baby. I did feel like that transition wasn't quite as smooth as it could have been.
I feel like it wasn't quite earned yet. To just go from him never speaking to her to do you trust, right? Because there's not a point in the trailer where he's like, hi, I'm Aladdin, or hi, I'm Prince Ali. Mm-hmm. Maybe there is, actually, now that I think about it. But I skimmed over it. It's not an important part of the trailer. It blink and you miss it if it's there.
He does go from 0 to get on my carpet really fast. At least in the context of the trailer.
Get on my carpet? I don't like that.
Exactly. You would say no if someone approached you.
I don't know. He said, do you trust me, though? So no one would ever say that if you can't trust them. Right? No mistrusting person on the planet has ever said, do you trust me?
Just believe him. You won't be duped.
No, never.
No, never.
Aladdin duped him. He sure isn't a prince.
Yep.
Okay.
It's literally, this movie is him living a lie for the entire second act.
I think it's pretty obvious for me. Mm-hmm. This guy swung back up to a need to see it. I have been all over the map for this.
You sure have.
I'm so excited for this one.
I've been upgraded to a need to see more.
Awesome. But yeah, I think I started at a need to see from when we talked about this way long ago, the very first footage we saw with it, where we never even saw the genie. I think I was at a need to see. Then I tanked downward. Now I'm back up, baby. So we'll see what the next trailer has in store for me.
What if Alan Tudyk's voice ruins it for you?
Yeah, that could be that.
All the way down to never need to see again.
The next one is Jafar just skipping rope and coloring chalk on the sidewalk, and I'm like, what is happening here?
It's just him looking at Jasmine saying, hey, do you mind getting in this hourglass?
No. Oh, that's fine. No, that's okay.
I'm just going to leave it open.
Maybe
in case
later.
You wanna hop
yeah,
in.
maybe later. The sand's fine. It's real nice in there.
Never need to see it. Don't waste my time.
So we will see where I go with this in the future. But as of now, need to see it, baby.
All right, very cool. Well, let's see if we need to see, because this is another trailer this is another movie where we have kind of been disappointed by the original spots for it. And
Yes.
there have been a lot of spots for it. This is Toy Story 4.
It's Forky.
Woody, who needs a kid's room when you can have all of this?
Wow. Woody, aren't we going to Bonnie?
You got a friend in me, unless I find an amusement park first. This is Toy Story 4. This is the first full official trailer, has a Beach Boys song and everything.
It does have a Beach Boys song.
And...
The most depressing Beach Boys song.
Yeah, actually. I had to think for a second, and I'm struggling to find
Good choice.
a
I mean,
sadder one.
it's an amazing song.
Great song. So this is our first full trailer, and it does give us some context. There is context.
We have a story here.
The question is whether or not we liked that context.
Sure, yeah.
And I'm going to start with you.
Yeah.
How are you feeling with
Well, is this movie necessary to the franchise of Toy Story, which had just such an amazingly beautiful end with handing off Andy. It's the end of an Andy era and handing it off to a new person. And it very much felt like these stories are about Andy growing up and the toys dealing with that.
Yeah.
This kind of makes it feel like now that Andy isn't involved, it almost feels like a different story, kind of like the Star Wars trilogies. It's like the last one was the original trilogy. This feels like a sequel trilogy, part of the same universe but separate.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
I would say that this does feel as lost as the characters, but not in a way I find engaging.
This is sad just because it's like questioning your existence and dealing with existential crises as like children, because these are children who are the main focus of the demographic here. I just couldn't imagine like a 6-year-old going to see this and coming out and going, what is it all about? But at the end of the day, I did really enjoy this trailer. I thought it was I think it's a story worth telling, with the message that it's going to be about. Again, it feels so separate, though, from Toy Stories 1 through 3, that in my brain I need to mentally separate it out and not call it Toy Story 4, but call it, like, I don't know.
And see, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I can separate it because it is called Toy Story 4. Mm-hmm. And I think what's tripping...
Oh, is it?
I think what's...
Big ol' 4 right there in carnival lighting.
I can double check the other 75 trailers and spots that dropped for this, but yeah, fairly certain.
Yeah.
I think a huge part of why I'm not connecting with this is because you're right. The first 3 movies are about the connection between Andy and his toys.
Yeah.
And everything in those movies is about finding that connection with your kid. And the third one is a really strong ending for this series so far, in that that connection is gone, but now a new one is forming with this girl.
Bonnie, right?
With Bonnie, yes. And with this, I guess I'm just having trouble buying the main conceit of, through a really contrived set of circumstances, really quickly, Woody is now in the middle of an amusement park, and Lil Bo Peep is like, bruh, you can just hang out and get love and attention from all of these people.
This is a whole new world.
But the entire premise is about having this connection and bond. And I guess it would have been nice if I had seen in this trailer Bonnie playing with these toys and it's just not the same. Or if she didn't necessarily care about him. Perhaps that's implied by her making this toy.
It's sort of implied.
But at the
same...
Like,
I got it, but...
At the same time, I would have loved to have seen that played up.
I got it. Spend more time on that first half.
Yeah.
And then a little less time on the second half.
In order to make me buy that Woody whose entire purpose has been driven by the connection with the kid
making a child happy. Yeah.
Making a child happy, to then having these really brief connections with kids who are probably going to forget about you within a couple of days. And especially when we see how hurt Bonnie is when she loses all of her toys.
Yeah.
Again, like, I totally get what you're saying. I think that the message that will come from this will be really sweet and nice, and will probably tackle existential questions pretty well. I just question whether or not
it's
want this
warranted.
If it's warranted.
Yeah, there was a lot I really liked in this trailer. As the whole, I am still kind of wondering if this is... Like, I feel like it still has yet to prove its relevance to this as a continuation of the story. But as a self-contained movie, I was really enjoying the trailer a lot. And I thought there was humorous moments in it. I thought it was thought-provoking. I think I'll like this Forky character a lot. I think it's goofy, but also funny. And Bo Peep is badass. I really liked the Bo Peep stuff.
Sure.
I'm there, man. I thought this was a huge step up from everything else we've seen before it. I'm still like really pissed they didn't seize the opportunity in those earlier spots to really drive home the importance of you're bringing Toy Story back. Like, this is a big deal. Don't just sell this as like, this is just like don't worry about it. Like, type of film. Like, in a car, it's in a carnival. Don't worry about it.
And I guess I'm still trying to get a lock on this. If I should just take this as its own self-contained story, or is this meant to be building off of the previous three?
And again, I don't know. There's not enough information to tell,
yeah.
But I like this as a self-contained thing so far, so for me this is a need to see it now.
Okay, it's a need to see more for me.
And that's pretty impressive though. So all these trailers coming up from the ashes here.
I'm rooting for it. Like, I really would love another great Toy Story movie, but I definitely need to get more context for what I should be expecting here.
Make it worth it, man.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
All right. Well, speaking of making things worth it, we're going to see if this next trailer makes 21 movies. How many MCU movies are there?
22, I think.
22 movies worth it. This is Avengers Endgame.
I like this one.
Checkmate, DC. This is Avengers Endgame.
Well done, yeah.
It really is at this point. They're just going all in on, listen, you know why you're here. We know why you're here. These characters who are still alive are mad.
Yeah.
They want to take down Thanos, and that's that.
Yeah, this very much, all these Endgame trailers have very much been focusing on the past. On a micro level, the past as in the last movie, Infinity War, focusing on what happened there. But on a more macro level, using terms that Kevin just threw into my brain, this trailer focuses on the past in just the scope of the entire franchise. We get shots from the very first Iron Man movie, the very first Thor movie, the very first Captain America movie, the makings of the members that will become the Avengers are leading up to, a culmination of a team that gets shit-canned by Thanos in Infinity War. And then the rest of the trailer focuses on how do we deal with that past, the Infinity War, the snap out, the fallout.
And a good chunk of this trailer is giving you that context. I mean, we get shots from Infinity War, we get shots from Iron Man and the first Captain America.
All kinds of different films.
It is definitely selling you on the idea of, look at how fucking long we've been at it for.
And like, it's honestly, it's not just a manipulation tactic. It's been a long road.
It really
This is
has.
what, 2007, right?
8, I believe.
2008, 2007, so like 12, 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely over a decade of these movies, and they're going strong. Like, and you just don't think about it having been lasting that long. So it is it is manipulation in a little bit, that it's like, haha, nostalgia, you love these movies that started it all, here, let's show you some clips from it. But honestly, it was a great reminder of, look how far we've come.
Totally, yeah.
Look how far these characters have come. But look how... You remember where you were in 2008 when you watched Iron Man? Like, I do. It reminded me of, like, shit, I was, like, not in... I was in college for, like, less than a year, I think. And I was seeing Iron Man. That is so long ago. That's nuts. So all of those scenes are in, like, black and white / with a little bit of red thrown in. And then all...
Speaking of 08, let's go back a couple years earlier to Sin City, baby.
And then all the scenes that are actually from Endgame are full color. So let's focus on those scenes. We get some Hawkeye stuff, which is exciting.
He's missing a hand.
I thought it was a mistake to not have Hawkeye in Infinity War, at least in an end credit scene. I wanted, like, his entire family to be disintegrating in that end credit scene of Infinity War, which that has to be where this is going, right?
You would have to assume.
It has to be, because we get a shot of him having, like, a grand old picnic, happy-go-lucky Hawkeye, the Hawkeyes.
Unless throughout the entire movie, his kid is just going to be FaceTiming him and being like, how do I get the TV on again? And he's like, all right, you pick up this remote, then you move this remote. If you want the sound bar on, you have to find this remote. No, you're right. They're probably dead.
They have to all go, which it's like, I understand, like, it looks like it's going to address some of pre-snap Hawkeye shenanigans, like them with the picnic and everything. We get a lot of Captain America stuff, which he seems like he's going to be a heavy focused character in this. Iron Man stuff, focusing on getting back to Earth. And then at the end, it's a culmination of all the Avengers walking in pretty slick new white and red armored Avenger suits. But Captain America's there. Tony Stark is there. Ant-Man's there. Like, everyone who's still alive is there in that moment.
Yeah.
And you just kind of go, oh shit. So what's happening here? What are these suits about? What are they off to go do? We don't know. So as many TV spots have we had, and including this trailer, we still don't have a strong sense of what this movie is going to be about, even though in general we know.
Yeah.
It's about setting things right from Infinity War.
It's basically telling you what you can already surmise if you have seen the last Avengers movie. And whether or not that's a good thing, I think is something that we should discuss. What does your movie have to offer? And right now, I mean, I guess to a degree, it's just being honest with how this trailer starts, where what we're offering you is the culmination of, like, probably the craziest fucking franchise in history.
Yeah.
Just in terms of its scope and how many movies and how much it fucking costs to make all of these. I mean, to a degree, it's like, well, no, you're right. I'm there. This is probably one of the hardest trailers I've had to review since we started doing this podcast, because it does give you virtually no information. And on top of it giving you no information, none. Also, we're not seeing any action. It's basically just, here are the characters that you know. Here are some that you know that have since been turned to dust.
There's no sense of threat, because the threat already succeeded in the previous film. So everything is just the fallout.
Yeah, but at the same time, even though maybe on paper these are problems, thinking about it from a larger perspective, it's like, well, yeah, but at the same time, it makes sense why they're playing it this way. So for me, I guess I'll just say need to see more. I do think that...
Do you think it was difficult for you to rate this one because you do enjoy it so much, but on technicality you're lowering it? Or it's so low based on the technical side, but the way you're so invested, it amped it up a bit? Or is it just a little bit of column A, B, and C for you?
Yeah, it really is just column A, B, and C at this point. Yeah, because, I really like the button with Captain Marvel. The fact that she doesn't flinch as the fucking hammer flies right next to her. It's like, oh, wow. I thought that was really dope.
2 thumbs up.
I did actually, feel my heart swell when I saw Rocket Raccoon. Just because All of his friends are fucking
They're
dead.
dead. Every single one of them.
And him picking up that machine gun and not losing an ounce of his swagger, ready to go. I think that's really what I wanted more out of. And because now, for the most part, these characters are in mourning for a good chunk of this trailer, which I think is an incredibly reasonable assertion for the movie, and maybe a little bit of this trailer, but I think I just wanted, like, a hair more of that.
I gotcha, yeah.
Because, like, the little details, overall, I like. I like Ant-Man seeing all of the fucking missing
The flyers.
posters.
Yeah, that was a good moment.
That's a really good touch.
Yeah.
To remind us that it's not just the heroes that are affected, it's the universe.
Yeah.
It's everything.
Yeah.
There is stuff in this trailer that I am really enjoying, even though that, yes, on a technical level, there are so many demerits, but at the same time, I recognize why they made the choice.
Demerits is a great point. It's in any other trailer, these things would have counted against it.
But for this, it's like, there is a greater context to it just in 22 fucking movies.
And as a fan, I don't want to see anymore.
To a degree,
the level of excitement that I have seen so little of the footage of this movie and know so little about it, is going to be such a cool experience in the movie theater for me. It drives me crazy when people ruin things for themselves and then share it on social media and ruin it for people who are doing their best to stay in the dark. And the Russo brothers and, Marvel in general are nipping it at the bud and just not giving anyone anything.
Yeah.
Like, you can't ruin it for anyone because you don't even know. And I really respect that. I do understand why people would be hesitant about a movie that isn't showing them what it's about, though.
And I think they know that no one's really hesitating.
That's a good point. No one is. I'm not. Need to see it, Kevin.
Well, sure.
Need to see it for James.
Yeah, it's strange to me because we look at trailers like they're their own little mini short film.
And they are. That's the art form of trailers is why we started this podcast.
Yes, and this trailer definitely feels like marketing. And there is some art to how this is constructed, but for the most part, this is the equivalent of reading the back of a book and getting the little synopsis.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. Yep, I like that.
And so, as a trailer, it's a never. As a movie, it's a need to see. And so I'm going to wash it out in the middle.
So you can balance it out. There it is. I just wanted that explanation from you.
Yeah.
And that equation makes sense to me.
Yeah.
This is a need to see it. For me, it just is. No explanation needed from James, I don't think.
Hey, there are new movies.
There are new movies with full trailers that have come out, and let's just crank right into them. How about that?
We are. And speaking of books, stop reading the back, crack one open in full, because this is Booksmart.
We have to go to a party tonight.
What?
Nobody knows that we are fun. We didn't party because we wanted to focus on school and get into good colleges.
And it worked.
But the irresponsible people who partied also got into those colleges.
I'm incredible at hand jobs, but I also got a 1560 on the SATs.
We haven't done anything. We haven't broken any rules. Name one person whose life was so much better because they broke a couple of rules.
Picasso.
He broke art rules.
Rosa Parks.
Name another
Susan B. Anthony.
God damn it.
Picture this, I'm a bag of dicks.
Okay, on to the next chapter. This is Booksmart. This is directed by Olivia Wilde, written by Susanna Fogel, Emily Halpern, Sarah Haskins, and Katie Silberman. This is...
Written by?
Yes.
A writer's room.
Yeah, more or less, eh? This is starring Beanie Feldstein, Molly Gordon, Caitlin Denver, Jason Sudeikis, Will Forte, Lisa Kudrow. Our random shout out. We like to give random shout outs to lesser known cast or crew members.
That's correct.
And today we are going to be shouting out Adam Simon Christ, who plays Tony. Hey, Adam, good job, bud.
Good job, Anthony.
There you go.
I went the longer version of Tony.
There you go.
Good. Big deal. Moving on.
All right, we're moving on. So this is a coming of age movie, which
indie movie, probably.
Yeah,
Ish.
which like I just gotta say, man, coming of age movies to indie film is like superhero movies to blockbuster cinema.
At the current,
dude,
like our current,
there are so many.
They're still coming, Kevin.
Yeah, they are.
Like right this second, like now, it's happening.
Yeah,
we're living it.
Literally, the next trailer we were planning on reviewing.
we had 2 trailers back to back for the main drag. We had Booksmart. We had The Good Boys or Good Boys. These are both under the category of indie coming of age film. That is not where the similarities end. So, what say you? I think we should review...
We should probably just review both,
Why waste the time? Let's review both of them at the exact same time.
Let's do it.
So this is Good Boys.
My dad's gonna kill me. Chill. This is how we get the drone back.
Picture this, I'm a bag of dicks.
You took my bag?
Don't get any closer!
Oh my god, there's Molly in there.
Okay, who's Molly? Because she's not with us.
Jesus Christ.
You had us bring drones to a fucking playground?
Nobody speak.
Who is a good boy? Is it the Good Boys trailer? Or is Booksmart the better boy? Girl? It doesn't matter. We're going to get into it.
I'm so confused.
So this is Good Boys, which is directed by Gene Stupinski, written by Lee Eisenberg and Gene Stupinski. This is starring Jacob Tremblay, Brandy Noon, Keith L. Williams, Lil Ray Howery. I shit you not, Will Forte is also in this movie.
And in Booksmart?
And in Booksmart. Yeah.
Jesus, these 2 trailers are already too similar, and they share.
And we're going to get even to more similarities as this goes
God.
on. Retta is also in this. I just wanted to shout her out because she's hilarious. Our random shout out for Good Boys is going to go to Neil Impey, who is the visual effects supervisor. Hey, Neil. Good job, bud.
Good job,
You
Neil.
VFX supervised a movie.
You're super.
So not only is this Good Boys, but this is also Booksmart. And we wanted to bring them up in tandem because holy fucking shit, it's Deep Impact and Armageddon all over again, baby. It is. We have Booksmart, which is about 2 young girls who are just graduating high school.
Yeah. Going college on the horizon.
College on the horizon. They have their shit together from an academic standpoint.
But feel like maybe they didn't
missing
experience
out.
high school to the fullest that they could have been.
Exactly, yes.
Which is a fair point, because how they described it in the trailer, movies don't touch on enough that even the people that make horrible decisions in high school still end up getting into great colleges anyway.
Exactly.
So what the fuck am I doing with my life?
Exactly.
That was kind of fun that it touched on that.
Yeah.
Good Boys.
Good Boys.
Not exactly about high schoolers.
It's 6th graders.
Middle schoolers.
Yes.
Very specifically entering middle school.
Yep. They are struggling at middle school from a social standpoint.
Yep.
Then they end up getting into some trouble. What that trouble specifically is, it's like they spy on...
Well, it's shenanigans. They get into shenanigans.
It's consistent shenanigans.
With drones, with alcohol, with drugs, as you do in 6th grade. Like, Good Boys doesn't deal with the academic level, but these are groups of friends that are cut from the same cloth.
Yeah.
And they are friends that feel like they could be experiencing things more to their fullest. Mm-hmm. That is not where the similarities end.
No, they're both definitely influenced by Superbad, I would say.
Oh my god, definitely. I mean, one very much so because
just
it
given
uses,
that Seth Rogen is...
Because Seth Rogen is involved, and they have the title card that says, from the producers of Superbad.
Yes.
The other one doesn't have that, but you're right, though. I think the influence is still there in Booksmart of the Superbad influence. They're both different types of comedy, I think.
Yeah.
At least the visual style is super different.
I would say that for the most part, I really liked Olivia Wilde's directing choices.
I mean, there was some crazy stuff in that trailer. Hidden almost.
Yeah.
It's like, it feels so...
Them turning into dolls.
Yeah, it's like the visual style looks so comforting and like usual. Oh, I've seen movies like this. I recognize this visual style and I'm at home with it. And then they just like slip in like odd parts of like them as dolls. And I'm like, are they tripping? Like why are they as dolls all of a sudden? But it doesn't feel out of place. Like it still flowed in that trailer really well. I never questioned the dolls bit. It just excited me that there was so many different visual peculiarities in that one. Whereas Good Boys very much a through style and aesthetic.
Yeah.
I'd say it. As much as I found that one funny, it just looked kind of like it doesn't divert from its style a whole lot.
Totally.
So in that sense, Booksmart gets the advantage,
Absolutely.
I think. But in humor, I think I laughed more at Good Boys, even though the humor was smarter in Booksmart.
I definitely laughed more with Booksmart.
And that's fair. I think they do have different kinds of humor to them, which I found both senses of humor funny. It's just I happened to verbalize it more with Good Boys.
Sure.
And Booksmart, it was more than golf clap. Yeah, there was a moment in... So let's talk about specifically Booksmart for a second. When they're sitting at the lunch table talking about the lesbian friend's experience in college. The humor at that scene was funny at the very beginning. I think it went on a little too long.
Honestly, what you're bringing up, I think, is more just like a common problem with comedies where this is our joke, we're going to let our camera run for a little bit and we're going to have our actors improvise. Oh god, they're so funny, we're going to keep everything in.
Right.
And yeah, sometimes there are judicial editing choices that I feel like some comedies could make. I felt that way more so with Good Boys. Like, I definitely felt that there were bits that would go on for too long.
There was a moment with the Molly bit, with the drugs in the park. It should have ended at him just saying, whoa, we don't know who Molly is, but she is not with us.
Right.
That's where it should have ended in the trailer. But then we got this, like, elongated, oh, you had us bring drugs to a park? I'm like, I didn't need that bit.
Yeah.
Like, I got it already, and this part isn't adding any humor to it either.
And it definitely evoked, like, a Judd Apatow movie when they're watching porn. Initially, I was having fun with it, but they vault like 3 or 4 jokes that are more or less the same.
Oh, that's fair. At the end, at the end. The highlight of it was the typing on the keyboard gag, where they start typing porn but end it with a B and hit delete right away, and then it cuts away. I thought that's a good visual gag. I think both struggled a little bit on their ending sequences, whereas her being chauffeured into the police car.
Oh, that's amazing.
That was I feel like that's where the trailer I would have had it end, because that was way funny. Yeah. That was so good.
And yeah, I think I would agree with that critique, because then that way we have kind of like a fun arc through our trailer where we start with these girls who are like academically strong, maybe a little sexually frustrated.
Yes.
Realizing they want to cut loose, and the last thing we see is one of these girls getting shuffled into a police car. It's like, oh, okay, cool. Like, this gives me like a fun little arc within the trailer.
It builds to that moment really well too. They like throw ski masks on and get in and like hijack someone's car from the back seat, sort of. It was really good. It was really clever. Where Good Boys is less clever, but it's I still found it really funny. But yeah, I think if we're going with creativity and style and cleverness, I think Booksmart edges it out at almost every turn. But we still haven't talked about the most glaring similarity between these two trailers.
There are a lot of glaring similarities.
Also, they came out on the same day.
They did come out on the
just so
same
you
day.
know.
They came out on the same day. There is going to be no edge given to music because both use the DJ Shadow song featuring Run the Jewels called Nobody Speak.
Which is, I know it as Bag of Dicks.
Yeah.
Right?
Picture this, I'm a bag of dicks, put me to your lips.
Okay, well, I just know it as the Bag of Dicks song. So, how? I mean, I know how. It's not the same editor.
Well, yeah.
And obviously these editors aren't friends. They don't talk about their work with each other. I'll never tell, you'll never guess what movie I'm editing a trailer for. I don't want to tell you what song I'm choosing because you'll love it. And I just want you to be surprised.
It's funny you say that because I'm editing a trailer I think you'll really love. Yeah. And there's definitely a song that I think you'll love.
It's a very awkward day the next time these guys hang out. But I enjoyed both of these trailers a lot.
Yeah, I'll also throw in there the set of circumstance that leads the characters to their actions. I feel like is a bit more character driven with Booksmart and is way more plot and joke driven with Good Boys.
Yeah.
And I think with Good Boys, it's just a matter of whether or not the humor lands for you. And for me, it's sometimes. I mean, like, I definitely liked the entire thing where, like, the kid is trying to steal a beer and the fucking eye roll from the cop.
It's slow motion.
Yeah.
Slow motion eye roll from a cop. Yeah, all the convenience store stuff with the cop is great.
Yeah.
Like you said, the dildo locking him in the convenience store. I thought that was kind of funny. But the eye roll. The eye roll is where it really got me.
That's where it's at.
Good cop stuff from both of these trailers.
Really? Yeah, definitely.
The similarities just never end, Kevin.
They really don't. Well,
Okay.
We'll see if the ratings are also similar. So for me, I would say Booksmart is a need to see.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it.
Should we go one movie at a time?
Sure.
Okay.
What about you?
Booksmart for me is also a need to see it.
Double
Need to see. We deserve it, I think, in this episode.
Absolutely.
And I think this one totally deserves it. It's got the style, it's got the humor, it's got the heart. Like there's some real heart to this one too.
The jokes are landing.
Yeah, and the music. Sure. But yeah, it's good. It's good. Need to see it.
Okay, so Good Boys for me is a really low need to see more.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I mean, like, because as of right now, at least with Booksmart, there appears to be some wit to it. And right now, Good Boys just seems like it's going to be vaulting jokes at me. And I feel like I could probably wait until that's on HBO now.
Sure. That's fair. For me, Good Boys is a low need to see it.
Okay.
I still really want to see this movie. I laughed a lot during it. Booksmart definitely edges it out, though. Like, if I had to pick between the two, like, I can only see one movie today, I'm going to see Booksmart for sure.
Sure.
It just looks like a better movie. I mean, we'll see. I mean, Will Forte is the connecting tissue between both of these movies. I still think both of these movies could take place in the same universe. Will Forte plays the same character.
Oh, God.
That is the connecting tissue.
They're just like brother and sister.
Yeah. Unheard of connective tissue in indie coming-of-age movies. We're Marvel Cinematic Universe style here. It's blowing up. It's blowing up.
Whatever you do, don't reveal it until midway through the end credits.
At least. Anyway, so there you go. So those are those two movies.
Those are those two movies.
We have one more.
Super similar.
We have one more though, don't we?
That is absolutely not a coming of age story.
So different.
Yeah, this is Lucy in the Sky.
You got to see the vast celestial everything, and it blew your mind. So now nothing makes sense.
Lucy?
I'm fine.
I will say, had this trailer come out a few weeks earlier, we totally would have also done a paired review of this in High Life, but as such, this is just Lucy in the Sky on its lonesome.
C'est la vie, yeah.
This is directed by Noah Hawley, written by Brian C. Bowen, Elliot DiGiuseppe, Noah Hawley, and this is starring Natalie Portman, John Hamm, Zazie Beetz, Dan Stevens, Nick Offerman, Tig Notaro, Ellen Burstyn, Coleman Domingo. Our random shout out. We are going to shout out Ashley Brinigar, who is the post-production assistant.
Well done, Ashley. Unsung hero.
Unsung hero,
Absolutely.
Ashley. Fucking good job, bud. All right. So, this is Lucy in the Sky. So, we open up with Natalie Portman's character. She's an astronaut. She's floating in space.
That's right.
She sees the wonderful, beautiful expanse of the universe in front of her. And we get someone piping into her helmet saying, "Lucy, it is time to go home."
Reel it in. Reel it in, baby.
Reel it in. And as you see the ship as it's about to blast back into orbit, you can tell she doesn't really want to go back. This has been a life-changing experience for her. And she ends up getting back to Earth, reunited with her family. It's worth noting that we go from widescreen when we're in space to a 4:3 aspect ratio.
Yep.
And it just feels like everything is shrunk.
It's very,
just as for our character.
More confined, more claustrophobic.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. It slowly brings them in for one shot. And then from then on, every shot that's on Earth is in that smaller 4:3 format. And then when it cuts back to her in space, it goes back to wide.
Yep.
Just for a split second. Back to wide. Okay, we're back on Earth. Back to the 4x3.
Yes.
And for anyone who doesn't know, 4x3 just means there's
It's a
black.
box.
There's black on all sides. It's a box. It feels so confined, so claustrophobic, like we said.
Yeah.
I'll let you continue. I could talk all day on the aspect ratio, like differences in one trailer.
Oh, yes.
So we'll get to it, but you continue.
She is definitely struggling with being back home.
Yeah.
Now that she's had this huge life-changing experience. And you can definitely see her daydreaming about space, wanting to go back. She confides a lot in John Hamm, who plays an astronaut who is also on the ship.
Yeah,
with
her co-pilot, co-astronaut out there.
Just to be able to confide in someone who understands the exact scenario that they've been in. And you can see her reality fraying. You can see her imagining as if she's flying back up into space. You can see that she's clearly losing it.
Yeah. And it's worth noting that I think the trailer implies that she is in a committed relationship with someone not John Hamm.
Correct.
But when they get back to Earth, she only seems to really connect with John Hamm.
Correct.
And it's a very atmospheric trailer, so there isn't a lot of dialogue.
Very atmospheric and very character driven.
And which work hand in hand with this one. But so when I say these things about her having a already committed relationship and she's focusing more on John Hamm, these are all mostly through visuals that we're getting this. But I think the visuals speak so loudly that it's pretty obvious. And you're right, yeah. Once you start seeing that kind of stuff, you see her. There's a shot of her feet lifting off the ground. There's also a shot of her laying down with presumably John Hamm, where like the truck. There's a shot of them laying down in a truck, and it split screens away like curtains parting on a stage, and behind the curtains, behind the Earth, is just the vastness of space again.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's her trying to get back to space through John Hamm is essentially how the trailer is implying things.
It is definitely interesting. Very interesting from a visual perspective.
Yeah, visceral, man.
It is definitely cool from an acting perspective. I mean, I think we've said every time we see a Natalie Portman trailer, it's like, she's really good in this, but that's a given.
It's like toothpaste commercial telling me it cleans your teeth. Yeah, I know that. Give me something new.
Yeah.
And this trailer did. I know Natalie Portman is a phenomenal actress. And this trailer gave me something in addition to that.
Yeah.
And, wow.
You seem to enjoy it.
I had a moment with this trailer. I watched it, and I watched it again instantly afterwards, because there was a lot going on in it, subtext-wise, and it's just... When we talk about trailers as an art form, this is what we're fucking talking about. It is worth noting that there are exceptions to the Earth being 4x3 and the space being widescreen rule. When things build and get crazy chaotic at the end, and it's like raining and she's on a bridge running from like the police or something, that's all in widescreen. There's no outer space aspect to that. But she has brought in some sort of chaos into her life that makes her feel as alive as being out in outer space did.
And it's just conveyed visually. Yeah, without getting into the specifics of what
I keep like pulling my hair. Kevin's witnessing it. You all don't get to. This trailer was phenomenal, in my opinion.
I really liked it. The only thing I would throw out there is if you need a story, like a plot, you're probably going to walk away disappointed.
You're going to be floating.
You will be floating.
You'll be weightless on this one, for sure.
Because I'm sure plot hounds would be listening to this review saying, oh, okay, so she gets back and she's really disconnected from Earth. And then she does what? And it's like, stays disconnected from Earth. Like that's
it's a character study of how someone reacts to this kind of experience.
And if you're like, but I want an and then she... As of right now, this trailer isn't giving you that.
And
we do get hints of her doing things, whether it's having an affair with John Hamm, her running from the cops, whatever that may be.
This is a drama, though. It's not an action movie. It's not a It's not a thriller. It's
Yeah.
not a suspense film. This is about her experience, and that's it. So the "and then" is just the next day of her life.
And that's and there is something that I think that's really cool about that.
Absolutely.
Because that is I think the story is something that you don't really consider. Yeah, what happens when an astronaut comes back? After spending years and years seeing something that so few people in present day, in 2019,
Absolutely.
would ever see.
Yeah.
And to then just come back to this. How does that feel?
Yeah.
How do you process that? And those are some really interesting questions. Yeah. And especially to have Natalie Portman being our cipher for that. Well, shit, yeah.
Good choice.
I'm good with this.
Good choice. What I appreciated is calling your movie Lucy in the Sky and not throwing the Beatles song in there for the entirety of the trailer with the vocals underneath, and it would be a little too on the nose.
Can you imagine how much worse this trailer would be if there was a cock rock cover of Lucy in the Sky? Lucy in the Sky.
This would be a very different review.
Yeah.
Or a children's choir version of Lucy in the Sky.
Oh God, yeah. Just as bad, if not worse.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, look, it worked for Social Network, but I'm just saying, you got to draw the line somewhere.
Yeah.
So I was happy the fact that they didn't include the trailer, and then the end happened, and they did include. They didn't include the song.
It's the melody.
No notes. I loved this trailer. Need to see through and through.
I'm a total need to see
no
on
notes.
this as well.
Really, double need to see,
double need to
sir.
see.
Clink, 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 clink. This is one of the best trailers I've seen this year.
Yeah.
For sure. This is one I'm going to have to keep in my back pocket for when we do our top trailers of the year. I from visual to acting to just everything, man. I loved it. Yeah.
All right. Well, it looks like a trailer's running away, James.
Well, no, catch it, Kevin. Catch the trailer.
Before we go, this is Runaway Trailer. So this is where we talk about a topic, and it doesn't have to involve trailers. But I think from now on, it's mostly going to involve trailers because that's pretty silly. So this is a Runaway trailer about actually Avengers Endgame.
Yeah, we haven't done this segment in a while, but here we are. You know it's important because we brought it up just recently. We got the directors of the film talking in general about their feelings of their trailers that they're giving the world. Mm-hmm. And I think it's worth talking about because it's something we discuss here on Trailer Hitch from time to time when we see a trailer and then watch a movie and then review it in retrospect.
So specifically what the Russo brothers were talking about was digitally altering their trailers and the
exactly
footage, and manipulating it. So that way you can walk into the movie completely fresh and not feel like you have the entire movie ruined for you. A big thing that they were building was when they went and saw Empire Strikes Back as kids, they really didn't know what they were in for, and they wanted to replicate that experience
as best they could.
As best as they could for Endgame.
Because
everyone, with trailers and the hype machine these days.
Well, and they brought a good point. With the internet the way it is, and the way there is hundreds, if not thousands, of websites dedicated to breaking down trailers shot by shot, just for the sole purpose of figuring out where it all leads, what happens next, where does this end. They made a good point that people are guessing the ends of movies, to big blockbuster movies, 9 times out of 10 now, based on trailers. And they are just very proud of their last movie, and they want people to have the best experience possible, that they are going out of their way to visually manipulate it and lie to you, essentially. Mm-hmm. So, the question is, the reason we're bringing this up, is this a morally okay thing to do in the world of movie trailers, in the world of advertising, for us? Are we okay with this type of thing?
For me, personally, yes. It's interesting, because with the case of Avengers Endgame, kind of going back to my review, I mean, it already gives away fucking nothing as it is. So what you're digitally altering is really, questionable for me.
I've heard reports that the Russo brothers are only allowing footage from the first 20 minutes of the film to be in the trailers. Nothing after 20 minutes of the runtime has been seen in the trailers.
Yeah.
And that, again, that's just a rumor. But so from that small...
God, Thanos isn't in it for the first 20 minutes?
From that small sample size, you already wouldn't be able to guess the ending of the movie.
Right.
But then to manipulate that footage... To misjudge, or to mislead people into making other observations, other conclusions. Some might say that is going overboard, and I think that is what a lot of articles have been talking about. And so you said how you felt about it.
I'm totally fine with it.
Yeah.
Honestly, because I think there have been a few instances where you and I have watched a trailer for this podcast and went, I really wish I didn't know that going into the movie that I knew I was going to see anyway.
Too many times. Too many times. It's happened.
I would say that, for the most part, it's gotten better within the past few years. Otherwise, we probably would have gotten frustrated and given up on this podcast.
Yeah. Oh,
but
yeah, that's a good point.
I think that there are instances where that does happen, where the trailer does give away the majority of the movie. And that's always a really frustrating feeling, especially when you had interest in the movie itself.
Exactly right.
Because of that, yeah, if people want to do things to kind of like fuck with the trailer, I'm completely fine with that. Especially because, yeah, like there are people that will sit there and analyze every single frame of a fucking trailer.
Yeah, and some of them are good at like being like, hey, just so you know, this is what we're about to do.
Sure.
So steer clear if you want to. But that stuff leaks out eventually to everyone.
It does leak out, and also, I don't know, like, it's also just, like, not my cup of tea. Like, I don't get kicks out of figuring out a movie before I see it.
Oh, me either.
As I'm watching
or I might do it myself, but I'm not going to read other people's thoughts and conclusions and guesses on it, because they might see something I didn't. Mm-hmm. And then, if I didn't see it, I feel like that should be on me, and that my experience of the trailer should be based on just my observations.
Yeah.
That's how I like watching trailers. Bottom line, I am okay with this. That's where I'm going with this. For certain things. I don't want people to read this and go, oh, great, I can manipulate my movie in any way I want to. Whatever kind of movie. Because I have problems with that.
I was about to say, I think an example of where I could see it going too far, and this does happen already, but trailers being sold as like a completely different genre than what it is.
Yeah.
I think if you are intentionally manipulating the footage to sell it as in fill in the blank, unless that's the point. If the point is I want to sell people on it being this kind of movie, and then it's kind of like a fun blindside, okay, cool. But like, I think most of the time, it's just like, hey, George Clooney is in this movie where he's an assassin. And so we're going to put every gunshot in the movie in the trailer, and thus you got the American debacle.
Yeah.
Where a lot of people saw it, and then were fucking pissed because it was an art house movie directed by Anton Corbijn.
Right. The end game here for me is, I'm okay with this, but I'm concerned that certain filmmakers and certain advertisers and marketers are going to get the wrong impression from this and say, well, the Russo brothers did it, so I can do it too, to any end that I want to, with any kind of film I want to. And I think that is wrong. I think the Russo brothers know enough about the film-going experience that they know when to do it and how to do it. They're not throwing in, like, a giant lava thing that people are running from and being like, oh, this is going to be like a natural disaster film type of... They're not misselling the movie. They're not. They're just misleading you as to what characters are where at what points, or what they may be wearing, or who they may be talking to.
Which I want to say, like, that already kind of happens.
That already happens anyway. Editing trailers is editing out of context anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't have a problem with it, but I do get concerned that some people might take this and run with it in the wrong direction. We'll keep an eye out for it, though.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just wanted to bring that up. We're a trailer podcast, and this seemed like a kind of a big thing to talk about.
The thing that I found really funny, because the link you forwarded me was not the original interview, but the Slash Film article.
Yes, yeah.
And, like, they had that big quote of the Russo brothers talking about it and saying that this is our perspective on why we want to do it. It's to preserve the experience for everyone. And then the very next sentence of that article was, so what shots did you think were digitally altered in the Avengers Endgame trailer? And I'm like, you guys missed the point by a nuclear mile.
There was a reason I sent you the Slash Film article.
Yeah.
And Slash Film is a film website for people that don't know. And they micro-analyze everything, every blockbuster trailer. That's their job. I mean, they get essentially they get paid to do that.
Yeah.
And that's fine, but it was just ironic that they were presenting this as a think piece, but then just being like, so what shots did you think were manipulatively altered?
It was especially bad, too, because they were like, we do agree with the Russo brothers here. But then we're also basically, like, completely negating the very reason why the Russo brothers were doing it.
Exactly.
And yeah, and don't get me wrong, everyone gets their kicks in different ways. And so, like, if you like to sit and watch the Avengers trailer, and you're annoyed, you probably don't listen to us because we don't do it. If you like to sit and go frame by frame and try and build an entire story off of a 2.5-minute trailer, I guess if that's how you get your kicks, get your kicks.
You might be upset that the Russos do this.
And if you are, like, feel free to hit us up. We'll give you all of our social medias at the end of this.
Very soon.
Very soon. But yeah, I mean, for us as people who are just kind of looking at these, again, kind of like their own short films, no, as of right now, I don't see anything inherently wrong with it, especially in the context that it's being presented as. There you go.
That's been Trailer Hitch.
Woo! Yeah, that's been Trailer Hitch. Okay, so if you have thoughts on this think piece or on any of our reviews or on really just anything, you're welcome to hit us up whenever, I suppose. You can send us an email at trailerhitchmailbox@gmail.com. You can also hit us up on Facebook. If you just search Trailer Hitch Podcast, you'll be able to find us. You can also find us on Twitter at Trailer Hitch Pod. You can also hit us up on Instagram at Trailer Hitch Podcast. Please feel free to subscribe to us and rate us on iTunes. Also, feel free to hit us up on YouTube. You can just search Trailer Hitch Podcast to find our entire backlog there in case you want to listen to us but don't have access to your iTunes, wherever you may be. Or if you're an Android user, don't worry. We remember Stitcher.
Stitcher, baby.
You can find us there. We would like to thank Danny Schmitz from Lost in a Name for the bitchin' intro song that you hear. We'd also like to thank Rachel Ashley for the amazing cover art that you can see. You can find her work at Mighty Creations on Instagram. We'd also like to thank Jenny Hawks, our social media and bad movie correspondent, as always.
Especially bad movie correspondent.
Yeah.
I mean, if you haven't listened to our review of Cult of Chucky yet, it's the last episode we did. It's a bonus episode. Check it out. It's amazing. And she did a great job.
She absolutely did. And we'd also like to thank Casey Clowes for the amazing outro song, which you will hear momentarily unless James has something to add.
Goodbye, everyone, and good luck.
All right, cool. And thank you guys for listening.
Bye.
You can't mount holy sails without a sailor stitch, and you can't haul your stuff without a trailer hitch. Trailer hitch.
You got a friend in me unless I find an amusement park first.
You got a friend in me, friend like me. That's a genie reference from Aladdin.
Good God.
It was clunky as hell.
Can we redo the transition?
Yes, can we please redo it? Here, rewind. Okay, and go.
Wait,
you start. Yeah, and then you start again, and I'll say a thing.
You got a friend in me unless you God, what did I say? I'm just too blown away by how good your transition is.
But it wasn't a good one because it was too clunky. I just word vomited. No, friend like me.
Really, sure. Okay.
Anyway, this is Toy Story.
No. We're.
Are we doing this?
It is 4:20, my man.
All right.
A, blaze it. B, we have all the time in the world.
Okay.
We're going to redo this.
All right. Crush it. Let's do this. Well, we just finished talking about Aladdin, which I found was a great friend. Like me? Oh no! This is horrible.
It feels like
there's something there, right?
It feels like this should be a gimme.
There should be. It's just not. It's like one of those layups where you just keep staring at the footage and you're like,
that should have went in.
How is it physically possible I didn't make that layup? I don't know.
I think I defied physics by not making it.
The best thing to do is just move on, I guess, and put it away from your brain.
I'm just I'm just gonna say my thing.
Okay,
and then we'll just go.
I agree.
All right, cool.
Say your thing.